Sistas and Law, the first interactive, unorthodox talk show of its kind. Tackling today's hot topics. Join the conversation and participate. Hear unique, passionate views from practicing attorney Rosalyn Charles and Judge T. They debate real items that impact your everyday life, giving insights into politics, civil rights, the economy, world event, and the law. A show that finally brings voice to the voiceless. Sistas and Law.
Welcome back to Sisters and Law with Judge Tukwasi Ejide Sekou, better known as Judge T, and my partner.
Hi, I'm Rosalyn Charles, and today on Sisters in Law, we're going to talk about some very provocative issues. In fact, these are very provocative times. Today, we are going to talk about the illegal detention of American citizens at airports, Muslim Americans, as they travel back home to their country, my country, 'tis of thee, and are being detained. We're going to talk about Trump and his business conflicts, his refusal to release his taxes, as well as the prison nation.
Sisters-in-law, we have a lot to talk about. We have a lot for you to tweet to us about. Do your Instagram, your Facebook Live. We need to hear from you. A conversation with Sisters-in-law with Judge T
and Rosalyn Charles. Next up, illegal detention of American citizens.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a conversation with Judge T and my soror,
Rosalyn Charles. Okay, let's get to it.
Let's get to it. We have this, to me, it's a state of an emergency. We're actually detaining American citizens at the airport based on their travel and destinations and where they're returning from. That's the only thing that I can think of, because there is nothing on an American passport that says your religion.
Let's call it for what it is. It's just a clear-out violation of civil rights.
The only thing they can be using is the color of our skin.
Let's hope that they have some kind of additional
we'll be listening for it, and we'll be tuning in with you, ladies and gentlemen, with an update, because this is something that's going on as we speak, and the continuation of it is merely by the pen of our new. I'll call him the commander-in-chief. It's still difficult for me to say the word president. But one of the things that he is starting to do is to start piling in his prison nation. He's starting to get recipients for those seats that he has to fill. Or should I say those cells?
Well, I wonder what's going to happen with Guantanamo Bay. Where are these people going to be housed?
Well, we're not even going to talk about the fact that he still believes in torture. He says that he believes in torture. He says that even though it is illegal across the nation, that it's illegal.
I think as we move forward in this show and start talking about Donald Trump and his business conflicts, to the extent that we are fully aware of them, because he hasn't released his taxes, all of this is going to come together. All of this is going to come together. We're going to see where his business interests lie. That's one reason why a president divests himself of his interests, so there can be no
But when you have adult children, that you're merely putting them in charge of your business, at the end of the day, when your taxes are done, the taxes are your taxes.
All right. Well,
those taxes then belongs to the American citizens.
Yes, but let's pick up on that in the next segment. We want you to join our conversation. It's not just about us and what we talk about. We want you to join in on our conversation. Hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
We're looking forward to hearing from you with a conversation with Judge T and my partner,
Rosalyn Charles.
See you when we get back.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back with Judge T and my partner, Rosalyn Charles. Ross, what do you think about their commander-in-chief and his taxes?
I think that it's an abomination. I think that what we're sitting here looking at, I see the picture of Jimmy Carter where he said, "They made me give up my peanut farm." And what kind of tentacles did Jimmy Carter's peanut farm ham other than outside of Georgia. We've got a man with international business interests who his taxes must be 1,000 pages long, and it would give the United States, the people of the United States, an idea of where his interests do in fact lie.
Someone that he had
and his conflicts.
Yes, a gentleman that he had sued actually obtained his income taxes and saw in those taxes that he has not filed income taxes for almost 18 years.
Has not filed or has not paid?
He has not paid any income tax. And as he said, he used all the legal loopholes that allowed him not to pay.
I'm not mad at him about that. If that's what the law said, go for it. I just want to see what he's filing now.
Well, what we have to worry about is right now, remember, what a man says and what a man does. Years ago, Donald Trump said that he would run for president as a Republican and he would make money doing it. That is exactly what he's doing. Across the street from the very White House upon he sits as our president is a Trump hotel. Now, anyone who comes to this country
should I be upset
out of courtesy, will they not want to stay in the hotel that belongs to the president?
Why do I care if he makes money doing it?
Because he's taking money out of the taxpayers. The
Why
only
do I even
income,
care about that?
Because no president before him has gotten any income other than what is made as president.
Well,
no outside investments can be active while you sit in office.
Donald Trump has ran and is now governing as the maverick. But I think what we need to impress upon people is that those laws and those practices have been in place.
He is not exempt of the law.
We're
not giving him an exemption to the law.
We're not saying that. He's run as a maverick. And they're not really laws, they're policies.
He's run as a fool. There is nothing.
Whatever you want to call it.
Let me tell you something. We are just sitting around allowing this idiocracy
let's make people appreciate. Let's make them appreciate what it really means. It means that the law, the executive order that he may put in place, he has an interest in it. It's not for the interest of the people.
But not just him. Not just him.
His cabinet.
The cabinet. You have people that are in Goldman Sachs that are in this cabinet. Goldman Sachs is not closing tomorrow. Their interests and their tax interests within Goldman Sachs are not being divested.
To be fair, there were financial people in Obama's cabinet.
Were there state attorney generals? Were they Secretary of State?
Department of the Treasury.
Were they head of the military? We've given an exemption.
Well, that's not Goldman Sachs. Now we're looking at who's head of the military. We've got a bunch of corporate people.
We gave him a courtesy after only 2 years of being.
Who are you talking about now? Who gave who a courtesy?
We gave the head of the military the courtesy because remember you have to be out 7 years. You're only out of the military 2 years.
All right. Let's look at our Secretary of State. He's a corporate guy who's traveled the world for the interests of exile.
And in Putin's pocket.
So, are we the only ones who are concerned about this?
Everybody should be concerned. I mean, if for some reason we have someone that is in the president's cabinet who is actually getting an interest to who has been America's greatest, we may have been allies in the Iraq War, but we have been arch enemies since the beginning of time.
Let's go back to the taxes and our president's taxes and his failure to release those taxes.
But this is what I'm talking about. If he has money invested with it, how many years has the Miss Universe been in Russia? Do you think he doesn't make any money by having Miss Universe in Russia?
Of course.
So what reason is he having it in Russia if he's not making money by having it in Russia? But we don't know that because we don't see his taxes.
We're not just talking about his personal taxes. We want to see his business returns and how that reflects, and how we can now see when he pushes legislation, signs those executive orders. Whose interest is he really looking at?
Well, we got this going on. We got his son-in-law, who he's trying to make the one who's going to give peace in the Middle East. Who, again, his daughter, who he's going to be using as, I see, as promo first lady, since the first lady doesn't want to come in. He was trying to write an executive order that allowed them to live in the White House until they said your adult children couldn't live in the White House. So what did they do? They moved across the street from the Obamas because they were trying to make a big deal because the Obamas was living near
how does the Emollients
Israel.
clause and all of this impact any of these issues? Is he subject to the
emollients clause? He has to be.
There's litigation that's going on. They're trying to say that person doesn't have standing to sue.
Well,
because there's
the
no
American citizen has standing anytime. The president lives in the people's house. He gets paid by the people.
I don't think he understands that.
Well, see, and as long as we don't talk about it,
I'm not sure
he's not going to understand.
I'm not sure he's taking a
But
paycheck.
see, the Republican Party,
and he doesn't need to take a paycheck because he's going to make millions
well,
off this
business.
business.
If he's so rich, why is he taking a paycheck?
I don't think that he is, but he might.
I haven't heard that he wasn't.
Oh,
nobody
John
told
F.
me.
Kennedy didn't.
I did not hear
John F.
anybody
Kennedy-
tell me. Look, John F. Kennedy been going.
Right.
Nobody told me.
He didn't take a paycheck. John F.
Nobody
Kennedy.
told me that Trump wasn't taking a paycheck. Trump is getting paid. Trust and believe.
Ah.
This is all about money.
Again, his taxes, his business conflicts. How does that affect you? the
And
everyday
all of
American?
you need to talk about it. You need to have a discussion. You can't buy a house without your income taxes being had. You can't get certain jobs in the government without your income taxes being shown. You can get many, many things in this country that allows you to get a business without you showing your income taxes. Why
Reveal
should
all.
he be
You.
exempt from something that you cannot be exempt from?
Join
we want to
us.
hear from you.
Please, social network, Facebook, Instagram. Tell us what you think. We're talking about what
Get
we
your
think.
income taxes because they're going to be asking for them. See you when we come back.
In our next segment, we're going to pick up on the prison nation.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
All right, we're back, and we're going to talk about the prison nation. And it kind of piggybacks on the detention of Muslim Americans as they re-enter this country. Where are these people going to be held? Under the Obama administration, it was recognized that the mass incarceration that had taken place over the years since the Clinton administration put in those ridiculous laws.
President Obama is the first president in history that actually went to visit both state and federal prisons. See, you cannot feel for something that you cannot see. When President Obama actually went into the prison, talked to the prisoner, talked to the wardens, found out that some people were even in prison. There was one woman that was on a 3 strikes you out based on the Clinton administration for stealing Similac. That was in the 1990s. That baby that she was stealing that Similac for is now an adult.
Well, you know,
that woman was given clemency by President Obama.
Well, you know, I don't think it's by. I think it's by design. I don't think it's lost on people that the United States imprisons more people than any civilized nation. In fact, I would suspect that any quote unquote, whatever this means, uncivilized nation.
Anything that we call a business and the purpose is to make money, we have to generate a product. The product happens to be, in this situation, people.
And
People
lots of them.
are the product. Just like we're trying to get, our chief in ignorance wants to tell people that he is going to generate jobs. The jobs that he's generating right now is to capture people. Capture people to put them in these prisons that are being privately owned by some of the people who he's doing business with.
So let's take the business model as you have decided to equate it. And then the trickle-down theory then becomes law and order, funds to police stations, funds to states, local municipalities that need to keep up their numbers, stop and frisk, more arrests, more people.
But what do you do when you have a prison that doesn't have enough people in it? You start switching people over from federal prison, because you can put a person in federal prison anywhere in the country.
Yes, you can.
So what you will have is more people having more federal offenses, so that you can fill these prisons up in Middle America, because we're already overpopulated in the prisons on the east.
Wasn't one of the things or the tenets behind Obama's release of the prisons, it wasn't just compassion and righteousness, but the sheer cost of housing. all of these people
It
on
costs
ridiculous
more
charges.
to keep a person in
Non-violent
prison
offenders.
than it does to educate a person.
It kind of tells, sometimes when you follow the money, it tells you where your priorities are. Well, and on a more local level, on a more you and me level, individuals are being arrested all the time and find themselves
We've been on both sides of the law.
unjustly incarcerated for something they may not have done, or at least are not completely guilty of, if you will. That's some of the way that we look upon it.
We have their story, our story, and then the truth.
We've been on both sides. You've worked for the criminal defense. I've been a prosecutor, and I've also done defense work.
I've been a Superior Court judge and a municipal court judge, and you've been a municipal court judge. So we've carried just about every hat that you can have. And one of the things that is very important, I think, this really depends on where you live, because there are some states where there are some shabby public defender's office. I'm going to stand up for the state of New Jersey as a prior public defender. And I think not only do we have a strong public defender's office, we have a strong prosecutor's office, because we are not pushed by those who are putting money into our offices. Our judges are appointed. They are not elected. That's money that's pushed by private law firms that put judges in positions, that then put those judges on those people in those positions come from the prosecutor's office and then goes to the bench. You have
but let's just talk about.
But that affects.
It
so,
does
Sorry,
affect.
that affects how representation is done. When people are being represented, I believe, this is my personal opinion, if they are arrested for something as simple as, let's say, shoplifting, I would say, unless there is something that goes to a level where you are definitely going to jail,
right,
use the services of the public defender if you are eligible to do so. Don't go into
private practice.
Go
ahead.
My thing is, I'm telling people how my personal opinion on how you can save money,
save dollars, okay,
save
that's
dollars
what
and
we're trying
cents.
to do.
Because if you on arraignment, you're going to get arraigned within 72 hours.
Well, what's
the public
arraignment?
defender,
That's your first appearance.
Yes, your first appearance is the criminal processing before
and the bail is going to be set.
A bail is going to be set. You're going to be told what you're going to do. You're arraigned. You're giving your innocence until proven innocent. You're told you're not guilty until proven innocent. The judge is going to set a bail for you. If you're a wildcat means that somebody has charged you with something and they haven't yet arrested you. The judge is going to set a bail. They're going to come after you. At that point, you'll go before the process.
If there's serious charges where you're facing jail time, people want to feel comfortable as they move forward with the system that they're going to get certain answers. Not only are they hopefully going to get some of the results that they would like, and no attorney worth his salt is going to guarantee you anything.
And if they do, you need to
go
you need
walk.
to fire
You need to
them very
run.
quickly.
You need to run.
Mm-hmm.
Not until they get an opportunity to see the full breadth of all the police reports and all the evidence that may be held against them, and not also until they get the full opportunity to do an investigation that will allow them to see exactly what we're dealing with in terms of moving forward in any kind of defense or prosecution. I am partial to private attorneys I'm biased. I don't have to release my tax returns to tell you that I do private defense work. So, of course, I want you to come forward and hire a private attorney to move forward in that process. But I will concede, for the sake of this argument, so that we do not go to fisticuffs, that most public defenders are more familiar with all of the prosecutors, the judges, and things of that nature, and they might be able to accomplish certain things.
The reality of it is, if you commit a crime in a municipality that the public defender's office is in, then you may want to go to the public defender first. Why? They work with the prosecutor's office every single day, and the reality of it is there are numbers.
But you still have to be eligible for a public defender.
Well, we're talking about eligible. But you don't need to get arraigned. You don't need to be eligible for the public defender. You're going to get arraigned.
That's the arraignment process.
But sometimes people come right off the cuff, throw $10,000 on a lawyer's desk just to do an arraignment. Public defender's office is going to arraign you no matter what.
Okay.
All right, get through that arraignment, get the police report, and get an understanding of what the heck you're being charged for. Because 90% of the people that come through when I have done arraignments don't even know what they even been arrested for. Another good 15 to
is that?
20%,
Why is that?
the cases are
Why
being
is that?
downgraded.
And and why is that? Because they're not being informed. Why is that? Because when they're
Police
arrested,
officers are
do
not
read
explaining what
people-
their
they
rights.
don't read the rights, and at the end of the day, does it really make a difference? But it is a comfort level. Unless you give a statement.
This is one thing we don't want them. When they tell you you have a right to remain silent, anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have a right to an attorney.
Well, I
if you
thought I
cannot
should tell
afford
him
one,
because I'm
one will be
innocent.
appointed for you.
No, I want to give a statement because
No,
I'm innocent.
you
I didn't
don't
do
say a
anything.
thing.
Oh my goodness.
And
Keep
this is
your mouth
another thing
closed.
that you need to understand. Police officers can lie to you in order to obtain information, and it is legal. It is legal for them to tell you a lie, to tell you I already have information.
You have the right
Someone
to
has
remain
already
silent.
told
you have the
me you did
right
it.
to get an attorney if you'd like
They're
one.
talking out of both sides
Exercise
of their
your
head.
rights.
Do not give up your right to remain silent. Do not give up your right to have an attorney. Whether you can afford one or not, you're going to get arraigned.
Hire a
That
private
is
attorney.
given to you by the taxpayers and the taxes that you pay every day. Then decide whether it is your best interest to hire a private attorney. Ladies and gentlemen, hit us back with your tweets from your Instagram, Facebook. We're going to be doing some Facebook Live. We want to still continue this conversation with Sistas in Law with Judge Takwasi Ejide Sekou, known as Judge T, and my partner.
Rosalyn Charles, with the issues that we believe are important to you, but you're going to tell us what's important to you also.
We're looking back to hear from you.
Take care.
Nice.
What's going on? What's going on?